Canadian Bulldog here. Don't pretend like you don't know who I am. I've got a very special unboxing video for you here today. In front of you, you see what appears to be a plastic bag. And it is a plastic bag. And it contains the third series of the WWE retro figures. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the concept, you may know in the 1990s, the WWF had a Hasbro series of figures that were much smaller than the current crop of action figures. So Mattel has recreated this series in something called the Retro line. So devotees of CanadianBulldogsWorld.com know not only do we have an annual tournament of all of the Hasbro figures, but this year we've included retro figures. So just came across for the first time in Canada. I've seen the retro figures, the third line today. So obviously these guys are going to get a look. So just pull this aside for a second and walk through what we've got here. So there are 4 figures in the series. The very first one is Bill Goldberg. And we'll open it up and I'll show you what it's all about. But one thing I will point out in all of these is that there is the little stand, which is new for the retro figures, actually unlocks a special app as well. So what I love about these figures is the cardboard packaging is very similar to the old WWF Hasbro figures, and they have the action moves you can do, which I'm not doing a good job of showing right now, the action moves you can do. So let's open this up and let's see what it's all about here. This is the first of 4 figures. Very excited to see these, and like I said, I'm not doing a very good job at opening these. So this is what's known as a jumper figure, and basically because you can press down a little lever on the back here, and this is something the old Hasbro figures had as well. So you push it down and, well, technically it's supposed to spear somebody. It didn't do a great job, but maybe just because it's on this stand here. No, it didn't do a great job. So there's Bill Goldberg for you, the first figure in the series 3. And as I mentioned, there is the little stand, which maybe I should open up so I don't lose it. There you go. I'll move the packaging out of the way. So as you can see here, there's a special code you can use, and the figures, their feet stand like so on the stand. Next figure here, I'll move Goldberg out of the way for a second, make sure he doesn't fall down, is Dean Ambrose. And this is kind of a fun figure. It's obviously a fairly current style of Dean Ambrose, just before the Shield, basically where he has his wife beater shirt on and the taped fists and that kind of thing. So as you can see, there's the logo here, the Dean Ambrose logo. And as we open the figure up, it's a lot bigger actually than the Goldberg figure. And let's see the action move he can do. He can do sort of a karate chop kind of thing. So he puts his hands up in the air, and there you go. So we'll put Dean Ambrose up on the stand here. So it's the second one in this series. Really liking this so far. There's the lunatic fringe out of the way. The third one, speaking of, you can't have Dean Ambrose without Seth freaking Rollins. And he's another jumper figure. We're going to open this one up. Let's see what it's all about here. We may not open this up. We'll see. See how long a video this ends up being, because the cardboard, I hate when the cardboard kind of gets stuck. There you go. So another jumper figure. You got the little lever on the back. Push him up and he also falls backwards. So he's got that in common with Bill Goldberg apparently. And we're just going to get his little stand there that has the Seth Rollins logo on it. Very cool. Seth Rollins, this figure is probably, out of this wave, my least favorite so far, but now we've got between Dean and Seth, and Roman Reigns came out in the first series, so we've got the entire Shield all together again. And then finally, for me, the highlight of this series is AJ Styles. And this looks like, well, it looks like a phenomenal figure, pardon the expression, and we're just going to open this one up. And we got cardboard stuck again. That's okay. I'm pretty sure people have tuned out by now anyways. Crack this bad boy open. And it's got the Phenomenal One AJ Styles logo on it, on this little stand. And then here he is. We'll just turn him up here. So I'd really like the color, I like the blue and the blue gloves on him. And in terms of his, let's see what his action move is. It's a phenomenal forearm. So what you basically do is you twist him back and boom. That, maybe he'll hit Seth Rollins. Nope, didn't quite work. Try again. There you go. So that's the series. And not a bad looking bunch. And so now I have a dozen of the retro figures. And if you're interested in the Hasbro Classic that I mentioned, the tournament where you vote on the winners between Hasbro and retro figures, go to bit.ly/Hasbro Classic 3. And as always, thank you very much for checking us out. And go to CanadianBulldogsWorld.com, your scrapbook for wrestling merchandise and memories. Thank you.